Y'all, Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way is on the list of vampires on Wikipedia. I don't know if I can recover from that. Yeah, it's. And if you look up Southern Gothic, it's a lot of the same, but like Midwest Gothic, it's just like. It's the churches I grew up driving past where you go into a really small town where it's one church, two bars, and a grocery store, maybe. Maybe one of the bars is the grocery store, actually. Alright, I'm bored. I'm probably gonna head back to script writing very soon. Oh no, that's what I can look up. When was Camilla? It was in Doctor Who? Not Carmilla, but it was. It looked like it was an Adric episode. Ugh. I love Adric, but like, it was an iffy time. There's been multiple vampires apparently. Okay, we froze a long time ago. Boom. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, boing, boing. Boing. And that's what I was gonna look up. God damn it. How would you know? Give me a minute, I gotta reach my back pocket. Senna, Miel, and I went down a rabbit hole of French vampires and French folklore. It's been great. Okay, that's what I need to look up. French pet names for lovers. Well, obviously, I know the basic. I want the fun ones. I find it hilarious that French is just like mon amour, mon coeur, mon ange, mon trésor, mon chéri, my puce, my little flea. We also love the almost southern accent that just came out at me when I said that. I hope if anything, I get some laughs out of you, Miel. My horrible pronunciation. I'll have to see if I can find. There was this one really funny video that was like French, but it's Midwestern. So it was basically like how if when you get me back home and I'm like in rural Wisconsin talking with my grandpa type of thing, it'd basically be like that stereotypical Wisconsin accent, but in French, and it is so funny. It's very much how I sound when I just don't give a shit or I'm too tired and it just turns into Bonjour, je m'appelle Coyel. Je suis heureuse aujourd'hui. I gotta blow my nose in. Nah, that one actually wasn't all that bad. My shrimp. Mommy. Mommy. Hold on. How say this? The website I'm looking at says that's very, very old fashioned. My sardine. Mommy. Okay. Me, no me. The word for dough looks wrong in English. That makes sense. Terms of endearment. Ma biche. Ma bichette. I was thinking like to keep with kind of like almost the that makes sense. Okay. Uh like low key a little bit of religious trauma vibe. So the gothic vibe of having like Little Lamb and stuff like that be pet names. Um, that doesn't really translate though. Well, Mignon is here though. Ma Mignon. Wait, Mon Biquet? Biquet? Mon Biquet? That'll work. This froze again. I just need a cute little name. My bijou. Hmm. That's something I can go back and look at later. Why do I have so many pinks? Good lord. It's not Wednesday, so it's not that. Oh, one of them's quite literally for me. Never mind. In one of the servers I'm in, if you're like a friend, like if they consider you a friend, they post, like, they set their stream cord to ping everyone when you go live, and I'm one of them. So I get, anytime I go live, I get a ping from the server being like, Quail went live. And I'm like, yes, I know I did. I know I went live. I'm the one doing it. I really hope it's cooled down for you, Mio. Holy shit. I just checked in the venting channel again. So, I love autumn so much. It's only like 80 something here. Oh, I'm sorry. I could go yarn shopping. I probably shouldn't, but I could. Walmart, because they could easily get it here quickly. Even though fuck Walmart and fuck Amazon. Gray. No, fuck off AI. Get out of here. I kind of want like bluish gray, kind of like you would see in like animated gargoyles. That's good. Honestly, so is mine, and it's only like 87. But yeah, like like that bluish gray you always see when like gargoyles are animated. That's kind of like what I want. And then black yarn as well for all the detail work of like the cathedral windows on the corset thingy. Red Heart or Brunette won't let me down. I almost said, or I could go to Joann's. I miss Joann's. Oh my god. I can find the color I want, for sure. Oh, storm gray. That kind of looks like the color I want. Yeah, it was the one, um, it, so basically in the US, there's Hobby Lobby, which is the homophobic, ultra Christian one. Um, there's Michael's, which was mainly fabrics, but also some other crafting. And then there was Joann's, which was like your one-stop shop for anything like quilting, yarn, and it also had a reputation for just being like the nicest. Like you would go in, like the idea of like you would go into Joann's and you would go to get fabric and you would actually be asked like, "What are you making with this?" And you would get advice for it. Like they'd be the type that would cut extra just because, or like when Joann's was selling out, um, they just gave us the extra fabric when we finished a roll of it. So it's like, yeah, it's it was also, whoops, sorry, I just pulled my earbud out. It was also the one that was closest to my hometown. There was a Joann's 20 minutes away from me, and the closest Michael's for me when I'm at home is an hour. Otherwise, it's a bus ride. I'm in my college town. Yeah, it was. It was fun. Michael's tried to eat up Joann's a bit. It didn't really work well for them. Let's get writing. I feel like I should turn a light on. It's fine. So far, because like I said, I'm planning on making Iliodor in audio OC. So I might be starting to make my own audios as well. One problem is I'm trying very, very hard not to accidentally uh, copy Ellis. I think I'm doing a good job, but when it's like very hard when a lot of the same, like, plot points, for lack of a better term, do kind of line up with Ellis's. And I'm just like, I promise I'm not copying you. He just lives in a church. And he's a vampire who runs a library and gives sanctuary to people. But yeah, my plan was start working on these now. So that way when spooky season gets closer, I can start doing like readings of vampire literature or folklore and just have like some sleep aids as well as some other, and like I'm always open for requests. This, from what I know so far, he's a switch, dom leading switch. Um, he's very service motivated and he's very gentle to people who need that, but he can also be a bit of a bastard to the people who try to hurt what's his type of thing. So I feel like there's definitely a demographic for people who would love like panic attack comforts and sleeping aids and overworking scenarios with that where you get gently voluntold, nah, no more work for you. But yeah, we shall see. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna read what I had already down. So basically, my plan is to start with uh, like background noise of like him just doing work, then kind of like becomes aware of the person, listener, just like running in, being like, I need to be in here, and then like kind of implying that listener asks, like, this is a church, right? Like, you can, like, church rules apply, right? Like, sanctuary rules type of thing. And it was like, yes, this is a church. There's an altar you can pray to whatever deity you want. Um, and then also kind of like an offhanded remark that most people stay away due to the content that they keep in the church because A, it's run by a vampire who B, practices a bit of witchcraft and collects folklore and to what some fundamentalists would consider devil worship, you know? um, but then it was just like, oh, sanctuary, yeah, I can give you sanctuary. I can get you some food and we have mattress pads we can put in the main room, which is also, at least in my old church, it was called a sanctuary as well. The main room of the church. I don't know what that's usually called. I just call it a sanctuary. It makes sense in my brain. But yeah. And then Eliodor rambles for a bit. And then once, oh shit, I'm rambling a lot. You look exhausted. Let's get you some food. And then, um, yeah, after a lot of rambling of like the church and how it's more of a library and how listeners kind of like a change from the normal guests of like the way I wrote it. Um, most of my visitors are lovers of spooky. I almost added le spooky just to be silly. Um, PhDs and special interests alike. So like amateurs, well, amateurs in the English meaning of the word, and um, all the way to like doctorate candidates come to do research because it's basically a giant archive and library of folklore and supernatural happenings. And I think it's general knowledge or kind of like whispers that Eleodor is a a vampire, but like I haven't fully decided if they're gonna know that Eleodor is a vampire or if it's just gonna be something that's just there, you know? But yeah. And then Eleodor comes back uh with blankets, kind of like, oh, and stuffed animal, and then makes an offhanded comment of like, I find comfort in stuffed animals even in my old age type of thing, and then listeners like, You look like you're in your 20s. What do you mean you're old age? And then Iliodor is like, oh shit, you don't know, do you? Oh, you might want to know that you're going to be staying with a vampire before you stay with a vampire. Because I'm not going to hold you here if you're uncomfortable staying with a vampire, but also you're safe and you're probably the safest with me than you would be anywhere else. That froze again. OBS, come on, baby, we can do it. I hope that didn't scare anyone. The sound of me petting the little animal. Boing, 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 boing. Yep. The, uh, God, I don't even know how old he'd be if we're planning on it being in, like, him being alive in the late 1700s. That would be, what, 300 years? A 300 plus year old vampire being like, this is my stuffed animal. You can cuddle with him if you want. Might make you feel better. Even though he looks like he's in his 20s. Have good eat. Bonsoir. There we go. Some think it's haunted. I think I'm just clumsy. Holy shit, it's very Fens live. Let me go lurking Fens real quick. Oh yes, come on, baby. We can do it. We only got like 16 more minutes. It's okay. You don't have to crash on me. Bonk. Four. Just in case you didn't catch it. Nope, that does nothing. Okay. John Lennon. Okay. I love how I'm like, I'm gonna just outline this audio and write the dialogue later. That happens, like, I did, like, a little bit of outlining, and now I'm just full on writing dialogue. Not to mention, I've got a page and a half, roughly, written for script-wise. And that's not even with, like, the intro part written out. I just outlined the intro, and then after the intro, I started actually writing dialogue, and then I've just been word vomiting ever since. Yes, I checked. Okay, there we go. Alright. No, I like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna end a little early. Um, so, wait a minute. Thank you everyone for coming and chilling with me. I really appreciate it. Um, the two people who are still lurking in stream, I'm assuming you're already lurking in other person's stream, but I'm just gonna throw you over to Cinna, even though you're probably already in Cinna's. But yeah, thank you again for keeping me company. I do not know how active I will be this week. I have to pack up my room because I have to leave the staff cabin a week early, and move it to a different area. So yeah, um, have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Uh, au revoir. And let me actually make sure I get the raid up so that way I'm not just saying bye and then not go anywhere, you know? Au revoir. Maybe I can get says I have 2 viewers, so let me see if I can get both of them to go. That's great.